Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Kat Locklear, the Funky Flu Nurse. Listen, I have something that's bugging me, and I just want to talk to you about it. I'm doing this live. This is a little gutsy, but all right, que sera. I've been talking with my fellow ER nurses, and it seems like it's an epidemic that there is a misuse of the emergency departments and our ambulance systems. And I just would love to know if there are people out there that could help me understand something. I would love that because I'm very curious. If you're just joining me now, hey, got a question for you. Maybe you're not aware of this, but I am an emergency room nurse, and I just had questions regarding your thoughts on the misuse of the emergency departments. We have people who will call 911, get an ambulance ride to the hospital, get out, check in just long enough to, hey there, Terry, just long enough to get the ambulance out of there, then they leave because they just got their ride into town. We'll have people calling an ambulance for ingrown toenails. They'll be calling an ambulance for minor things, and I just want to know, and if it's out of pocket, if you have tons of money just to blow on that, you could have blown it on a taxi. But from a Medicaid perspective, and again, I value Medicaid for what it's truly supposed to be used for, but how is the government regulating how Medicaid is used? Does anyone know? I would love to know. Maybe it's just my lack of knowledge, but I have a hard time understanding how one person, I mean, everyone has got one of these people. Actually, we have multiple, but how does one person take an ambulance multiple times, sometimes a month, to an emergency department for things such as, I got this new mole on my back and I'd like to have it checked out, or I've got an ingrown toenail, or, I got in a fight with my spouse and I just got so angry, I started hyperventilating and I called 911. For me to go to the emergency room, I'll be honest, if I go one time and it's something minor, I'll probably have to pay that visit's bill for over a year. And so that kind of deters me from wanting to visit the emergency department unless it's truly necessary. I don't know about you, but I don't want to go because it's going to cost me money that I could use elsewhere. So I'm going to locate different types of resources so that I don't have to use the most expensive option. So, what are your thoughts? What can we do? Can we petition Congress or something that, hey, could you please possibly regulate how this Medicaid program is being used and possibly abused by some of those that have it? Or maybe you're a billing specialist. Maybe you can explain to me how we are sending this stuff off to Medicaid. Does Medicaid realize that, hey, the last 45 visits that this patient had to the emergency room were unnecessary and they've cost Medicaid hundreds of thousands of dollars? Does that not pop up a red flag that, hey, maybe they're misusing it? Maybe they need to be re-educated on how Medicaid is supposed to help them during, hopefully, their temporary time using it. But I don't know. I'm frustrated by this. Maybe y'all can help me understand why I'm bonkers and I shouldn't be frustrated. But I'm just tired of one person or two people or frequent flyers, as we call them, at the emergency room coming in, using every resource possible, never accountable for any of the cost, which I get it. If you are in a place in life where you cannot afford things because of your severe illness or disability, I value the fact that we have Medicaid to offer you. But for those who do not need it, who will take an ambulance, and I say ambulance a lot because actually it happens a lot via ambulance. You're probably thinking in your mind, if I'm choking to death, I want to call 911 to get an ambulance to my house pronto to get me there to save my life. But that ambulance could be calling that lady who wants a pregnancy test but doesn't have a ride in to get herself checked. So that ambulance right now is being misused greatly, and it can't get to you in time. I'm sorry. Something has got to give, something has got to change in my mind, because we are spending so much unnecessary money, and I really believe the people that are taking advantage of the system need to be audited in some way, shape, or form, and told, you know what, we noticed that you've gone 12 times now to this emergency facility for unnecessary things, and if you continue to stay in this form of path, we're going to have to disconnect your ability to go for emergencies, or you'll have to pay out of pocket. You might have to get a job, okay? Now, gosh, I'm not hating. I'm not a hater, okay? I'm actually a very, very nice lady, but I think about it as, if I am in an emergency, I don't want to wait in a 6-hour line behind these types of people that are coming in just because it is convenient to be seen the same day that the thought popped in your head that, I wonder if that freckle could be dangerous or not. You know, that is not an emergency, and we should be able to say, you know what, I get that you're concerned, but you're not going to be able to be seen here because we have to be prepared for emergencies. But hey, I can recommend several great primary care doctors or urgent care centers or minute clinics that you could go to. So, that's it, guys. Rant is over, but I would value some feedback on how I can start some form of petition to get these types of scenarios audited by the government, who we pay. I mean, I work at the hospital. They take a lot of taxes out. I got 4 kids, but they still take their fair share to help these folks get in and be seen unnecessarily. And then every year, those taxes, I promise you, are going to keep going up, because every year more and more people are taking advantage. Okay, guys, that was my nurse rant for tonight. I hope this gets spread a little bit, so a conversation, not just among medical staff, but among people, can actually get started, so we can put a stop to this, because I love people, and I want to take care of the sick and the injured and those in an emergency, but I sure don't want to waste the time that should be put on those in need for those who are just, not valuing what the emergency system is all about. Okay? Y'all take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.